Well, hello there. This is Virtuoso Chess Noob, learning and having fun with chess. Welcome to another episode of Quick Wins. And today's game was submitted by one of my subscribers, Gary Slegg, who was very proud of this game that he played in a real-life over-the-board tournament, the Bolton Easter Chess Congress 2024. He played a very, very lovely 12-move win of the Vienna Gambit. Now, you know that I love the Vienna Gambit, and this was a great example, a brilliant example. Let's go take a look. Now, the Vienna Gambit, of course, begins with the Vienna, e4, e5, knight c3, and their opponent defends with the Falkbeer and Vienna Gambit f4. And here I suspect their opponent was simply not familiar with the Vienna or the Vienna Gambit, and so declined the Gambit with knight to c6. That is a mistake. Long-time viewers of the channel will know it's a mistake. Best move is the main line with d5. The problem with this move is that we can capture. Capture, attack the knight, knight captures back, and now a d4. And basically, white chases black's knights around the board, winning tempo, taking control of the center. Knight now leaps here, and of course, e5 with another attack, and that knight unfortunately has nowhere it can go on the board, as you can see, and so is forced to undevelop to g8, which is actually the best move. Knight back to g8. Let's have a look at the end of move 6. White has taken control of the center with pawns. Black has lost several moves, dancing their knights around with one knight back to its starting square. White now develops the other knight. Much better in terms of development. That knight, very important to prevent queen to h4 with check. It's okay, but a bit annoying to deal with. Black now plays a move that is very understandable, but it's a mistake. So they can probably see knight and bishop seem to have control of the g5 square. If knight leaps here, has an attack on the f7 pawn. If the bishop goes here, then, potentially an attack on the queen. Doesn't look very good. And so black plays h6 to try to defend g5. However, that doesn't really work, and they're losing tempo. It's a mistake. Here, white plays in a principled way, bishop to c4, now with that attack on that f7 pawn. And here, black once again, it's not seeing what they can do. They make another mistake, understandable though, with f6. I think their idea was if captures, they get to develop the knight. If I don't capture, they take, again, clearing the space potentially for their knight. That looks like what they were thinking, but that's a mistake. White now does one final move of development, fully developed, pieces already, king nice and safe. Look at black's position, so sad. They now take, it's the final mistake. Pretty much it's almost checkmate now for black. White now begins their attack with a brilliant move. Bishop to f7, it's a bishop sacrifice, it's a brilliant move. But black is so spooked, the king doesn't even take the bishop, which is actually the best move. And the logic here is if king takes, we now have double check. King is forced to move and potentially, very, very good. So here, however, black was so spooked, they decided to bomb cloud the king instead. That's fine. The bishop captures the knight. Giving a check there directly is also good. Lots of options for white. Black, I think the spirit was kind of broken. I don't think they wanted to go back. They were worried about their king. Maybe they saw a check was coming, so they moved the king forward again. Moving the king forward into the field of battle is probably not good. White now plays their final move, captures the pawn. Black, spirit is broken. They resign on move 12. And the interesting thing here is that wasn't even white's best move, even though allow them to capture the win. Their best move is to sacrifice another piece. To sacrifice a knight with check. Looks like that, that's discovered. I said, that doesn't really work. That knight can basically be, sacrificed to allow the rook to have full control of the f-file. The queen takes, that is their best move. Here there's a mate in 4, mate in 5. The queen has been forced off the back rank, and white now gives repeated checks to force the king back onto the back rank, and then the rook gives a back rank mate. What this looks like is first the pawn with check. Black can valiantly try to avoid going back into the back rank. So, maybe they move over here, but now the knight, jumps forward with the check. In fact, that's a royal fork. And here it covers all the squares. So the king is forced now to e7, but we don't even need to take the queen. We have d6 with check. They take, queen now leaps forward with check, and finally, in this position, the king is forced to d8. Queen covers those squares, bishop covers that square, rook flies across the board, captures the bishop on f8, and that is mate. Good game, GG.